Hey guys, you would not believe how much it has been storming the past 2 days. It's absolutely crazy, like real live thunderstorms, like all day long. Usually you don't get that, and honestly it's wonderful. Like I love it, especially now that I'm not driving to tutor or driving to school to teach. I'm just here on the internet and the power hasn't gone out yet, God willing. But okay, I'm not here to talk about the weather. I'm going to talk about something a little more interesting than that. So hear me out. Do you remember the days when you were either in college or even further back to elementary school, middle and high school, and you had friends who were always wanting your attention? They would call you at home on the actual phone, or maybe you had AOL Instant Messenger, or no matter what. When you're young, that's when you have seemingly all the time in the world, and you're like, what do we do? I have so much time in front of me. Nowadays, when you want to schedule something with one of your very dear adult friends, and sure, you both have jobs, but those weekends are still precious if you're not working on weekends. And you call them up and you say, hey, so-and-so, let's do something this weekend or next weekend or even the weekend after that. And they're all like, I don't know, I just am all booked up, I think. And then you're like, but I thought we were friends. And if you're younger right now, please hear me out, because that is one of the saddest, most annoying things about being this age, not being a kid or a teenager or even really young adult anymore, is that special effects. See, thank you. Adults are busier. Part of the reason is they have real jobs and they're just absolutely exhausted on weekends. Another aspect is kids. And for some reason, there's just something about being an adult that causes people to tack on responsibility, extra responsibility. But here's the thing, most of the time you don't have to have all of that responsibility. Here's just one real example. We have an awesome dog. In fact, during today's lunch break, I had a super hard time getting up off the couch because, look, this happened and then this happened. And it was May the 4th and I wanted to watch Clone Wars because I haven't seen that yet. And then I said, get your rear in gear. All I had to do was just force myself to do a little work, do a little lesson planning, and then I met with my afternoon student. My husband and I love having our dog, and we've been tempted a couple of times to adopt another dog, but I told myself just because another dog is cute doesn't mean it's a good idea. I have enough common sense, I think I have common sense. I have enough common sense to say, if we get another dog, that's tacking on more financial responsibility, more veterinary responsibility. Our dog may not even like having another dog in the house, and it would be harder on the family because we have family who can come over and watch our dog, but with two, that ups the ante. Like, that just gives more responsibility, more stress, more money, more work. And so I say, it'd be nice, but if we want him to have a play date, we take him to the dog park, or we let him play with a neighbor's dog or something. It's just one of those personal decisions that I'm like, my philosophy is create more freedom for yourself. You can do this most of the time, unless you're going through a rough patch. You have the power to create more freedom for yourself. And parents, don't overschedule your child, because the beauty of being young and being at your probably most for a lot of children, it's the highest level of freedom. It's important and it's critical. You need to create margin for yourself to think. So I think it was my junior year in college. This school year was about to end and finals were happening. This time of year reminds me of it. And the friend said, well, this is your very last summer. And I said, what do you mean? She said, well, you're going into your senior year of college next year. And when you graduate, well, summers are gone. You'll have to work a real job where you work through the summer. I remember my first thought was, no, I'm not. No. Not to be a brat, but I knew back then, I'm like, I know what type of work philosophy I need to have for myself. Do I want to be dead bored all summer? No. Do I want to teach some students in the summer? Yeah, some. But I knew I could never be happy working a 9 to 5, okay? Because freedom isn't just about laying around watching Netflix. Those things are good, but my freedom allows me to think creatively, and it frees me up to be able to give other time to help people. If you do things like overscheduling yourself, you can't be present for the lives of your family or even for your neighbors. You've got to have that margin. For me, it's the same idea of if you leave, it's the same philosophy like if you live 10 minutes from your job and you have to be there at 7 in the morning. Let's move around a little bit. Let's say you have to be somewhere. Well, common sense says give yourself enough time to get there, get comfortable, get settled. But what do we tend to do as humans? Don't act like you don't know. We decide, no, I'm fine. I'll just get there when I'm ready. And then you're probably late. So because you gave yourself basically no margin because traffic has slowed you down. Or you did like me and you went into your car and you're like, oh, I forgot my phone. You go back in the house, you go back out. Oh, I need my chapstick. Go back in the house, go back out. Oh, my keys. Go back in, get your keys. It's silly stuff like that. Let's look at it outside. Yep, it's gray, it's rainy. I really love it actually. On Facebook a while back, there was some article and it showed a chart of how many days you actually have left in your life. You know, it's just a predictor, and it shows how many days you probably have left to see certain family members, especially those that are far away. And if you think about it, you might only have 5, 10, 15, or 20 days left with certain people that you know and care about, but because you've allowed a lot of non-important things to get in the way, you've lessened that time with that person. You don't know if you'll ever see that person again. You don't know you don't know where their soul is going to end up when they die. So as much as I've really been about hustling and entrepreneurship and helping students and building this tutoring business and helping other tutors, I do think it's extremely important to plan ahead. You may have to plan your freedom. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody's trying to take all of your free time and you're like, well, I need the money, do not bend over backwards to give away all your free time. Okay? You've got to build in that freedom. Your brain needs time to just sit and think. Most of the creative ideas I've come up with, and actually some of the best student lessons I've ever taught, were when I gave myself enough time to think ahead and pull stuff from my shelves and pull stuff from the internet or call somebody and ask them for advice. I didn't do that by scheduling people back to back to back to back to back to back and adopting 3 dogs and filling up my weekends and all that crazy stuff. Let's move again. One helpful thing you can do is to use an online calendar link. Lately, I've been using Calendly, and for me, I chose the monthly plan, but I could have paid for the whole year. I think there's an option there too. If you just pay like $10 a month, you can go and make an online calendar. And so if you want to schedule a 1-hour consultation, a tutoring session, any of that is all online so that people can just click in your availability. And by the way, it transcends time zones, so you don't have to work out the time zones in your head. There's some others out there too, like 10 to 8 or 8 to 10. What is it called? This will open up more freedom for you because you don't want to be doing that back and forth email like, well, when are you free? I don't know. When are you free? Let's email back and forth 500 times until we get this student scheduled. Okay, well, are you free this day? Don't do that, especially if you're a person who writes pretty long emails like, so what about you guys? Do you struggle with scheduling freedom for yourself? Are you creating enough margin for yourself? Comment below if you've had a struggle about taking up too much of your free time, or maybe others taking your free time, and talk about how you have overcome it, because I think we all want to learn, how do we make sure we meet our goals, we help enough students, we have the appropriate financial plan for our life, but yet we have time for vacations and families and neighbors and all that stuff. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next vlog. Hey guys, you would not believe my freaking head's cut off. I was like, no. Cue Michael Scott thing, no. Let's move around. Let's say you have to get up.